Hi guys, back at it again as soon as I woke up because that's what I do around here. This is Zoe's point of view out of the Left 4 Dead chapters, story time, reactions, stuff like that, whatever. I opened the door to the dorm and saw Lacey on her bed reading a book with her feet swaying in the air. She smiles as soon as she sees me. It's only been a summer. Girl, there are some really hot boys here. I feel like that's completely inaccurate, but we'll roll with it. Sure. I'm not even tired, so I don't know. I laugh. Lacey, focus on yourself. You've got time to find someone actually worth it. Don't go for the frat boys. She smiles. I know, but some of them are just so cute. I roll my eyes, bringing in the rest of my things. So, year one? She nods. We're going to dorm together until you graduate. I smile. Good. I go around the room. It's a little small, but I would be able to manage. It's not like I did much other than sleep anyways. It's always so real for that. Also, the reason it's like until Zoey graduates is because Zoey's gonna graduate first. That's kind of obvious, but also kind of not, because like Lacey hasn't mentioned what her career plan is, and I kind of forget what it actually was, but I think she's gonna be a nurse, so she's gonna be there for a while. But can't forget that. We should meet up with the girls as a final goodbye once the school year extra starts. Lacey shudders and I nod. We wouldn't have much contact with the others once school started. Bree might have been gone already, but I would give her a call. As for Piper and Jazz, they were somewhere around here. They'd probably come out for dinner. I texted Bree and she answered quickly, saying she would love to come out to dinner with us. I unpacked and then dressed up for a night out. I wasn't 21 yet. I wouldn't be able to drink, but I wouldn't mind just spending time with my best friends. So I don't really know why that's included, because her friends are all either also not 21. None of her friends are 21, to be real with you. Maybe one, but then I don't know who would be, because they're not 21. They're literally all like 18, 19. I think Piper graduated early and she's 17. So it's like, what? That doesn't make much sense. None of them are even 20 yet, so I don't know why that was mentioned. Lacey and I walked to the little diner where we would be eating, and Jazz and Piper came in together. Piper had cut her hair short, and Jazz had her hair in its usual braid. We talked and caught up on everything, then Bree joined us, so we took turns filling her in on everything. She told us how she had been, and we found out she was accepted into a college to become a mechanic. I never knew she was into cars. That sounds like... Almost like somebody's coming out and you're like, oh, I never knew you were into guys. Like, I don't know, I just feel like it could be worded different. We eat and talk about the future, and we promise to keep in touch. Lacey says that once she gets her degree, she's going to move out to California. Piper and Jazz say they were going wherever the money was, and Bree said she'd love to go south. Going south didn't sound too bad. I heard the boys are absolutely hot. Lacey squeals. Yeah, there's warm down there. Bree rolls her eyes. I'm not looking for something like that. I'm trying to find a good job. I think that there would be some pretty good places down there to get hired in. I shrug. Maybe. Who knows? Either way, I bet you'll be great. Okay, so I'm going to pause real quick and look at it from a standpoint. This is like 2008, 2010 setting. I wasn't alive. I was alive. That's a lie. I was alive. But I was literally an infant, so I had no idea about anything. Like, my world literally consisted of my house and the grocery store, maybe. Like, I have no memory of anywhere else. But I feel like with the South generally, and I can't speak on it now because also I don't really have a connection in the South or anything. Like, my grandpa's from West Virginia and all, but like, that doesn't really matter. Because we still lived not in the South. But I feel like it's kind of one of those places, or at least it was in this time, that's kind of racist and sexist. Like, girls can't work in an auto shop. So I don't really think she would find somewhere. She'd find somewhere good, but who's to say she'd get hired in is the problem. Obviously, that kind of slipped my mind when she said that, and also it might not be true, because I don't have the experience of it, and who's gonna like call somebody from the South and be like, hey guys, would you have hired a woman in 2008? It's not worth it. But I don't know, I just feel like, and I mean, kind of even still today, I feel like places are still a little bit more like hesitant to hire girls. They're getting better, so I'm not gonna say it's like, oh, they're actively trying not to. I feel like nowadays they just kind of try to go with whoever's more qualified. And I mean, in an auto shop, it's a male-dominated career, and I could see why. So I could also get not hiring a girl, but to not hire someone because they're a girl, that is wrong. So, yeah, I don't think she would have really had much luck getting hired. Bree smiles. Thanks, Zoe. I smile too. We finally finished eating, deciding we had gossiped enough before Lacey ran off to talk to a boy. I sighed and shook my head, walking outside to wait for her. Suddenly, someone touched my arm and I jumped. Hunter? Hey, didn't think you'd see me here, huh? He smiles under his hood and I smile back. No, to be honest. What are you doing here? I got a scholarship to track and I decided that I wanted to go to college with you. I blushed. That's too sweet. I kiss him and he smiles again. I really like you, Zoe. Maybe we could move in together after college. Hunter, oh God, remember my dad? I promised Lizzie I would go back for her and Mom. I have to make sure there's room for them. We'll live together one day. Your heart's in the right place, but honestly, I feel like it's not really worth it. Like, I'm not saying it's not worth it to go back and save your family, because it definitely is. I just feel like being like, no, we can't live together. Like, just all of you move in. Like, what's Hunter gonna do? Complain? Like, he likes your family. It's not like you're bringing in Francis and he's gonna yell at the kid. He smiles again. I get it. It makes sense. Just text me if you ever need anything, okay? I love you. I love you too. And with that, he walked away. Lacey came out of the diner on a boy's arm and she was giggling like crazy. Oh, hey girl. She waved and she giggled again. I'm going home with him for the night. I'll see you around. And with that, she turned around and walked off with him. And I sighed. Only night one, and she was already with a frat boy. I shoved my hands into the pockets of my jacket and walked back to the door, locking the door behind me. I mean, hey, she went home with someone else. What am I supposed to do? Wait up all night for her to come home? I'm not her babysitter. Instead, I sit on my bed and turn on the small TV. I flicked through the channels, settling for a horror movie, or falling asleep as a knock sounded on the door. I groaned as I rolled out of bed to open it. Lacey stood there, her dress wet and her hair stuck through her head. Whew, thanks, friend. It's raining outside. I watch as she walks in, peeling off her dress and changing into something more comfortable. Just so you know, Jackson Rivers is absolutely terrible. I could barely even feel it. My stomach feels sick. Lacey, I'm not into that kind of thing. I have a boyfriend too. Oh yeah, I forgot. She smiled at herself in the mirror and she began to wipe her makeup off. Well, what was left. So was he any good then? Lacey! Sorry. She brushes through her hair, watching me in the mirror. You guys have done it, right? Oh my God, Lacey, stop. She turns to me quickly with her eyes wide. Are you a virgin? I smacked my face. Lacey, no. Yes, Hunter and I have done it, but I don't want to talk about it. So he's not good. Lacey, will you shut up? He was fine. I liked it. I don't want to put my sex life out there for everyone, okay? She shrugs. Sorry, you had me worried. Okay. So I'm going to read Zoe's next question, then give you my opinion. So if I was a virgin, you'd be scared. There's nothing wrong with being a virgin when you graduate high school, or like just being a virgin in general. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, this is kind of like a topic that makes some people upset. As long as you're happy with who you lost it to and whatnot, like, and as long as you're safe about it, if you do lose it as a child, like, it's not really that big of a deal, I feel like. But there's nothing wrong with waiting till you find the right person, or waiting till marriage. Like, honestly, it's up to you, because it's your body, it's your life. So who cares what other people think? So if she lost her virginity at say 16 and Zoe waited till she was like 17, 18 to like be comfortable with who she was going to lose it to, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, wait till you find the right person. Don't just give yourself away, because it's not worth it. Of course, I would have felt awful for telling you things if you didn't even know what I was talking about. That's gross. I just feel like, don't kiss and tell. Like, we don't need to know what you did. We don't need to know the details. I roll my eyes, turning back to the movie. I'm not talking about sex and virgins anymore. Lacey finally climbed in her bed, falling asleep rather quickly. She's weird. When I woke up again, Lacey was already dressed and she was putting on makeup. Girl, it's about time. Class starts in 10 minutes. You barely have time to put any decent makeup on. I rubbed my eyes, walking over to the closet and pulling my duffel bag up. I yanked out some jeans and a t-shirt, putting them on before brushing my hair and putting it in a ponytail. I poured some water into a washcloth, wiping my face before putting on eyeshadow and mascara. Ready, I say, pulling on my shoes and tying them. Lacey looked shocked. Okay. She finishes with her makeup, and we grab our bags and head to the bathrooms. Afterwards, we walk through our classes together. I take my seat. I don't have any friends here. All of these people look kind of weird. I sit in the middle, close enough to see and hear, but far enough to where I don't look like a nerd. I pulled out my notebook and put my head down. College was already so boring. I heard the classroom filing in, up behind me. Filling up. What? I heard the classroom filling up behind me, and I glanced around to see the seat to my left had been taken, but only because there was a duo who just couldn't be separated. Okay. This is going to be a bit hypocritical of me. I low-key hate when people are like, I have to sit with my friends. But then I also would like to sit with my friends. So it's like something I understand, but I also low-key hate it because, and it's not just that people sit next to me. Like, I'll literally walk up to someone and be like, hey, can I sit here? Do you mind? But I also dislike it when it's a loud duo. Like, if you're going to be talking and giggling and laughing with your friend the whole time, please split up. But obviously they won't. But I'm also probably that person who's like, oh my god, can you just shut her up? So that's a problem. And very hypocritical. I'm aware of that. I sigh, watching the clock as people continue to come in. Suddenly a pretty girl sits next to me, smiling over at me. Is this seat available? I shrug. Yeah. Good. My name's Ella. Nice to meet you. She extends her hand and I shake it, smiling politely. I'm Zoey. How come you didn't sit with any of your friends? I feel like that's just like the dumbest thing to say at college, your first day, like first week. You're just like, how come you didn't sit with your friends? Why do you think I didn't sit with my friends? Like, give me your ideas. Why do you think? Definitely not at all because I don't have any. I just wanted to sit with you. You're special. No. What the heck? I don't have any here at college. It's just me. Oh my god. She smiles. They wanted to go to all the nicest schools out of state. I needed to stay closer to home though. Mom's sick. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I put a hand in her arm. I hope she gets better. I'm sure she will. She's just got to keep up with her medicine. I nod and the professor walks in. He was a short, balding dude and he's wearing a brown leather jacket. He looked kind of ridiculous, but I would get in trouble if I told him. I feel like guys get so offended if you call them short. Like, I'm talking like the actual short guys. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't hate them. I just feel like they get so offended if you're like, hey, you're short. Like, you're my height, and to a man, I would be considered short. So, he explained the course and what we would cover the entirety of the semester, and I zone out. School was never my thing. I did have dreams to become successful and stuff, and I was here for a reason, but I had no desire to actually pay attention. We got out of textbooks, which were provided by the college, specifically Mr. Jameson, and flipped to the first page. Okay, he's got a name. I skimmed the pages, reading a paragraph here and there. Ella nudged me, nodding to her phone. I looked over and saw pictures of Lacey at a party. When she went home with the dude, they went to a party, and I guess she ended up hooking up with him. I shake my head. That party looked like a rager. I kind of wish I went. Were you there? I shake my head. That's my friend, though. What's that boy's name? Jackson Rivers. Every girl wants to sleep with him. He's way older, though. It's kind of disgusting. Then she adds, he's a frat boy, too. My friend hooked up with him last night, and she said he wasn't any good. Ella's eyes widen and her mouth drops open. She said that? She better keep it to herself. He walks around like he's something special. If a girl as pretty as her says something like that, everyone would believe her. I smile. Trust me, I know. When class ends, Ella and I walk together to the cafeteria. She's tall with warm brown skin and long black hair. I cannot believe your friend said that about him. She laughs. Well, she didn't exactly know who he was, and when they got together, I figured it was him who hit on her. Yeah, he's only looking for someone to hook up with. He's here because he was a football star back then. I know, not really caring. I think sports scholarships are kind of stupid. How long does the sport even last? Over the next few months, I bonded with Ella. We hung out more than me and Lacey, but that's because Lacey was looking for love. Sure, we shared a room, but that's pretty much it. I went home for Christmas break, and Lizzie was excited to see me. She pulled me in for a hug and squeezed the air out of me before Mom told her to let me go. Then Mom did it too. My grandpa seemed happier, having been going to knee appointments to try to keep his knee in working condition before he got the metal removed. I hugged him too. Francis I skipped over. Wade came home, but he seemed distant. He did bring presents, so I suppose it was okay. We had a good time before I had to go back to college. Lizzie and I sat in the room, and she sighed loudly. What's up, little sis? I asked, looking over at her from my packing. I miss you. I wish you could stay here. Dad is ugly. I smile. I know, but one day we'll be back together. I'll be with you at the end of the summer for a little bit. Year one is almost gone. I think it's supposed to say done. Lizzie nods. I know. I love you, Zoey. I love you too, Lacey. The next morning I went back to college. Lacey had a boy over when I walked in, and he smiled, eyeing me up and down before turning back to Lacey. Who's he? I ask, setting my bag down. Lacey shrugs. He's just a friend. I nod, pulling out my clothes and hanging them up in the closet. I wasn't about to pull out any of my undergarments with this freak here. When's he leaving? Oh, he can go now. She pops up, pulling him out the door. I start and dump my undergarments into the dresser drawer that was tucked into the closet. Then I turn to Lacey as she comes back in. What are you doing? You're focusing on boys more than you are in school. What are you, my mom? Zoey, it's fine. I have it all under control. I sigh. Lacey, you don't need a man. You have so much going for you. Don't ruin it by getting drunk and hooking up with idiots like him. She sighs, but I think she knew what I meant. The rest of my freshman year of college flew by, and soon enough I was driving back home to spend a few months with my family before year 2 was going to start. I couldn't wait for school to be over. Lizzie was excited to see me return, and I was excited to see her again too. Everyone enjoyed my returning home except for Francis, but his opinion no longer mattered to me. I would avoid him for the rest of the summer. I would avoid him for the rest of my life. That's the end for Zoey's chapter. Next week is going to be Francis. I hope to see you guys there. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.